There's a hidden door that leads straight to true courage, and surprisingly, most people never discover it. We all face personal storms, heartbreak, crippling stress, unexpected failures that threaten to shake our confidence. But why is it that some individuals stand firm, unbroken, even when life seems determined to crush them? The answer lies in mental strength. This is not a magical ability granted at birth, nor a mysterious trait that only certain tough individuals possess. Instead, it's a skill, one you can train, refine, and ultimately master. When you do, you'll see life's hardships in a new way, as stepping stones leading to clarity, self-belief, and a level of confidence you might never have thought possible. Today, you'll discover exactly how to cultivate mental strength using timeless Stoic wisdom and practical, modern insights. Each moment we share here is designed to spark your curiosity, challenge your old beliefs, and guide you toward a life where no setback can overpower you. If you stick with me, you'll learn why ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus insisted that genuine strength comes from controlling your reactions, not your circumstances. More importantly, you'll see how to build a mindset so resilient that every failure transforms into fuel for your next triumph. But that's not the whole story. Stoicism is often misunderstood. Some say it's about denying emotion or simply toughing it out. But there's a much deeper dimension to this philosophy. You'll hear surprising anecdotes, controversies, and proven steps to rewire the very fabric of your mind. By the end, you'll hold a blueprint for unlocking the door to your own courage and forging a mental fortitude that can overcome anything. 1. The door to courage. What it really means. Picture yourself standing in front of a locked door during the worst storm of your life. Health struggles, relationship issues, betrayal, financial crises. One person might crumble, losing hope altogether. Another might stay upright, pushing through with unshakable resolve. The difference isn't background or natural talent, it's mindset. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This single idea holds tremendous power. Events, both good and bad, are often beyond your control. Your perspective and reaction, however, remain entirely in your hands. That's the real door to courage, recognizing that no matter the chaos around you, you have an inner space that no external storm can trespass upon. Interestingly, there have been historical controversies surrounding Stoicism. Some critics claim it encourages passive acceptance of injustice, letting fate take its course without fighting back. Stoic practitioners, however, argue it's precisely the opposite. They believe in accepting the reality of the situation, but working relentlessly on the parts they can influence. This distinction is crucial. Courage isn't about ignoring problems. It's about carefully choosing your response and refusing to let external forces dictate your spirit. This door to courage, your mindset, stays locked if you believe everything is happening to you. But the moment you see hardships as challenges for growth, that lock begins to loosen. You start to realize that mental strength doesn't mean never feeling pain. It means not letting pain decide your future. In the sections ahead, you'll learn how to reprogram your thought patterns and reset your beliefs so that even the harshest storms become catalysts for a stronger, more capable you. 2. Reprogram your mindset. Your mind can be your biggest ally or your worst enemy. Every day, you talk to yourself, often without noticing. Phrases like, "I can't handle this," or "I'm too old for this," or "I'm just not smart enough," might slip into your thoughts, eroding confidence before you've even tried. Recognize that this silent conversation is shaping your life from the inside out. Here's a practical example. Suppose you dread public speaking. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and a little voice whispers, "You're terrible at talking in front of people." Stop for a moment and ask, is that really true? More often than not, that belief formed years ago. Maybe someone teased you in school, or you had one embarrassing experience. Over time, You replayed that memory until it became part of your identity. But as Epictetus taught, we're disturbed not by events themselves, but by the viewpoints we attach to them. Each viewpoint is a choice, which means it can be changed. It's not about denying reality or forcing sugar-coated positivity. Instead, you strategically replace self-defeating thoughts with growth-oriented affirmations. For instance, whenever you catch yourself saying, "I can't," pivot to, "I haven't learned how yet, but I'm willing to try." It sounds simple, but over time, these small shifts accumulate into massive mental breakthroughs. Alongside affirmations, gratitude can quietly reshape how you view the world. Start each day by noting 3 things you appreciate, small or large, from the warmth of your bed to a valuable lesson you learned after making a mistake. This practice trains your mind to spot the good in your life, rather than obsessing over fears or shortcomings. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it reframes them, preventing despair from overshadowing everything else. And here's a crucial tip: question your assumptions. If your mind is telling you, "I can't succeed because I've always been a failure," ask, "Is that the whole story?" Usually, the mind crafts these negative narratives based on selective memories. Once you confront them, you'll find that the door to courage, your inner mental space, opens a little wider. You realize you do have the capacity to pivot your life's direction simply by choosing how you think. 3. Develop unshakable self-belief. Think of self-belief as a mountain. It doesn't appear overnight, but each small step of success layers sediment that eventually becomes rock-solid confidence. Many people assume confidence is an inborn trait, but it's really built through steady, deliberate actions. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He was a Roman emperor who navigated wars, plagues, and political turmoil, yet found tranquility within by focusing on his own thoughts and values, not the chaos around him. Consider the story of someone who launches a new business only to see it fail spectacularly within the first year. That external collapse doesn't have to shatter their internal world, but it often does if they've tied their entire self-worth to one outcome. The stronger approach is to view failure as data, not a verdict on who you are. Maybe the marketing strategy was off, or the timing was poor. You can refine, adapt, and try again. Each small triumph, whether it's mastering a new skill or building a supportive network, adds another layer to that mountain of confidence. This is why detaching your self-worth from people's opinions is so important. If you rely on others praising you for validation, you'll feel invincible when compliments roll in, but crumble at the first harsh comment. True self-belief is built on internal foundations, knowing that no matter the opinions swirling around, you have a deeper sense of who you are and what you value. Of course, that doesn't mean isolating yourself or denying legitimate feedback. It simply means you're no longer a puppet dangling from the strings of others' judgments. Your confidence becomes a reflection of consistent effort, lessons learned, and a firm understanding of your own inherent value. Failures stop being proof that you are unworthy and become building blocks for an even stronger version of you. 4. Turn negativity into growth. Everyone encounters negativity, rejections, disappointments, or even well-intentioned but discouraging advice. The question is, what do you do with it? Some let negativity consume them, reinforcing a narrative of "I'm not enough." Others decide to harness it. They turn each bit of negative energy into a stepping stone, using it as a wake-up call to reassess their methods, sharpen their focus, and push harder. A dramatic example is the story of J.K. Rowling, who received numerous rejections from publishers before the world-famous Harry Potter series found a home. Each no could have driven her to give up, but instead she re-examined her manuscripts, kept refining, and held on to a vision greater than the negativity swirling around her. Whether you're writing a book, starting a company, or trying to break an old habit, adversity will appear. But adversity doesn't mean you're on the wrong track. It often means you're actually forging a new path. In Stoicism, negativity isn't an evil to be feared. It's simply part of life's tapestry. The real question is how you respond. Do you sink into despair, blaming fate, other people, or yourself? Or do you pause, take a breath, and think, what lesson is hidden here? What skill is this challenge pushing me to develop? Many Stoics believe these hardships are gifts from God or the universe, intended to shape and refine you. Viewed that way, negativity transforms from a menacing threat into a tough but valuable mentor. This is also where your social circle matters enormously. Surround yourself with those who encourage growth rather than wallow in complaints. A friend or mentor who says, "I see your struggles, but I believe you can overcome them," can make all the difference. That doesn't mean seeking constant praise. It means having people around you who believe in possibilities rather than limitations. Finally, a daily habit of gratitude and visualization can anchor this mindset shift. With gratitude, you focus on small positives, even while negativity looms. With visualization, you form a clear mental image of the future you desire. These practices don't magically erase difficulties, but they adjust your mental lens so negativity no longer dominates your outlook. Instead, it becomes one piece of the puzzle, a piece that, with the right mindset, can be converted into fuel for unprecedented growth. Fifth master, self-discipline. Discipline is the engine that turns ideals into reality. It's easy to dream about being a top athlete, successful entrepreneur, or skilled artist, but without discipline, these goals remain fantasies. You might think, "But I'm not naturally disciplined," or "I lack willpower." The truth, discipline is built much like self-belief. Small actions, done consistently, shape your habits over time. Legendary athletes like Kobe Bryant didn't rely on fleeting motivation. He reportedly arrived at the gym when others were still asleep, day after day, not because he woke up always feeling excited, but because he made training non-negotiable. This approach can work for anyone, in any field. Let's say you want to improve your health. Wake up at the same time every day, exercise for a set duration, and plan your meals with intention. After enough repetition, these actions become second nature. The key is creating routines that eliminate choice fatigue. If you decide each morning whether to work out or sleep in, you'll constantly battle your own excuses. When your routine is locked in, there's nothing to debate. You simply do it, freeing mental energy for more important decisions. Over time, you discover that discipline isn't a burden, it's a form of freedom. You're liberated from the chaos of shifting moods and the paralysis of indecision. Another overlooked element is controlling your environment. If you're trying to focus on a project, but your phone keeps buzzing with notifications, discipline alone might not be enough to resist that temptation every single time. So you adapt your environment, turn off notifications, use website blockers, or set your phone in another room. By reducing distractions, you minimize the willpower you need to stay on track. Remember, discipline is about consistent choices, not one heroic act. The small decisions you make each day, like resisting an unhealthy snack, spending an hour honing a skill, or going to bed on time, eventually form an unbreakable chain of habits. This chain becomes your strongest defense against chaos and your surest path to success. 6. Becoming unstoppable. True freedom in discipline. Many people fear discipline, equating it with dull routines and zero spontaneity. But ironically, discipline is what unlocks real freedom. When you're disciplined, you control your schedule, allocate time intentionally, and move toward goals steadily rather than reacting to every whim or obstacle life throws at you. Motivation, on the other hand, is fleeting. You might be inspired by a motivational speech or a moment of clarity at midnight, but that spark often dies out by morning. Discipline picks up where motivation fades. If you're dreaming of writing a book, waiting for inspiration is a gamble. Instead, deciding to write 500 words every day, no matter how you feel, guarantees progress over weeks and months. Those small actions accumulate into a finished manuscript, a tangible outcome of discipline, not of random sparks of creativity. Epictetus again reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This includes how you react to your own excuses and fleeting emotions. A disciplined person acknowledges their mood, but doesn't let it derail their plans. While others might get stuck in procrastination or confusion, the disciplined person advances steadily. This approach doesn't mean you never have fun or relaxation. On the contrary, it means you fully choose when and how you rest, so it becomes more rejuvenating and guilt-free. You're no longer lying on the couch procrastinating, with half your mind worrying about undone tasks. You work hard when you've scheduled to work, and you play or rest with full presence during your planned downtime. With this sense of control, you become unstoppable. Each day's discipline feeds into your self-confidence and clarifies your purpose. Instead of being a slave to distractions and impulses, you wield your time and energy like a master craftsman, shaping raw materials into a work of art. 7. Build resilience through failure. Failure is often portrayed as the worst possible outcome, something to avoid at all costs. But ask anyone who's achieved real success, and they'll tell you failure was a necessary part of their journey. It's not a badge of shame. It's a testament to courage, proof that you dared to take risks. Yet many cringe at the idea of failing, fearing it reflects personal inadequacy. What if you saw failure as a teacher instead of a judge? Each setback reveals weaknesses, blind spots, or knowledge gaps you must address to progress. For instance, a friend of mine started a tech startup that collapsed within its first 2 years. From the outside, people called it a disaster, but privately, he viewed it as a condensed MBA program. He learned about cash flow, user feedback, and leadership pitfalls, lessons that he carried into his next venture. When that next venture thrived, people labeled him an overnight success, never realizing that the seeds of that success were planted in his earlier failures. Historically, Stoics often encountered extreme hardships. Some were even persecuted by Roman emperors who mistrusted their influence. Instead of renouncing their beliefs, Stoics adapted and grew more convinced of the necessity of mental fortitude. They saw adversity as a crucible, a place where their philosophical convictions were tested. It wasn't comfortable, but it honed their principles in a way comfort never could. Whenever you fail, remember, it's not a statement about your permanent worth. It's a sign that you ventured into challenging territory. Take time to reflect on what happened, learn the lessons, and incorporate them into your next attempt. This reflective approach, coupled with the unwavering belief that your worth transcends a single outcome, builds a resilience that's hard for life to break. You'll be better prepared for the next hurdle and the next one after that, until challenges themselves start to look like stepping stones rather than dead ends. 8. Mental resilience and emotional control. Imagine a tree enduring a raging storm. Its branches bend, leaves might get torn away, but the trunk remains firmly rooted. Once the storm calms, that tree stands, perhaps with a few scars, but still alive, even stronger. This is the essence of mental resilience, not avoiding storms, but outlasting them. But resilience isn't just about grit. It's deeply intertwined with emotional control. Emotions are natural. They surge up when you're stuck in traffic, disappointed by a friend, or slammed by bad news. The crucial difference between a resilient individual and someone who collapses under stress lies in how they respond to these emotions. One might lash out or make snap decisions they'll regret. The other recognizes the emotion, breathes through it, and chooses a measured response. Epictetus's life in particular demonstrates this principle. Born into slavery and enduring harsh conditions, he had every reason to be bitter, angry, or vengeful. Instead, he accepted the reality he could not control while carefully shaping his own reactions, his thoughts, responses, and mindset. This gave him an extraordinary kind of inner freedom, even while his external circumstances were far from ideal. You can practice the same principle today by tuning into your emotional triggers. If an offhand comment sends you into a spiral of anger, pause and observe the sensation in your body. Notice what thoughts arise. Then ask yourself, how do I want to respond so I don't create more problems? This moment of awareness can prevent destructive knee-jerk actions. The people around you can also be roots that keep you stable. Marcus Aurelius relied on the counsel of philosophers and friends he trusted. They helped him see challenges from fresh perspectives. Seek out a supportive network, people who remind you of your purpose, encourage your growth, and challenge you when you're about to sabotage yourself. Remember that resilience grows each time you face a trial and choose a conscious response. Like muscle fibers that tear under strain and rebuild themselves stronger, your mind develops deeper resilience by navigating storms rather than avoiding them. 9. Foster a growth mindset. At the heart of all we've discussed is the concept of the growth mindset. If you believe your abilities and intelligence are fixed traits, you'll avoid challenges for fear of looking incompetent. But if you believe you can expand your potential through effort, you'll welcome challenges as chances to grow. Michael Jordan famously got cut from his high school basketball team. Had he believed his athletic ability was fixed, he might have quit right there, saying, "I'm just not good at this." Instead, he trained relentlessly, transforming every setback into motivation. He recognized a simple yet profound truth: I'm not good enough yet, but if I keep working, I can be. So the next time you find yourself uttering, "I'm terrible at this," add the word "yet." That tiny change reframes your entire perspective, reminding you that you're in the middle of the story, not at the end. Stoics encourage seeing failure as part of the process of improvement. The only real defeat is giving up entirely. Interestingly, some critics argue that the growth mindset, like Stoicism, promotes a toxic positivity, ignoring people's real limitations or emotional struggles. In reality, both philosophies acknowledge pain and frustration. They simply teach you not to be defined by those setbacks. The growth mindset is about doing the work day by day, acknowledging obstacles without letting them close off your possibilities. When you embrace that approach, every problem becomes a puzzle rather than a permanent roadblock. You concentrate on the solution, not on reinforcing a belief that I'm doomed. Over time, you'll see your confidence soar, your willingness to take on big challenges increase, and your sense of empowerment flourish. 10. Manage stress effectively. Stress is unavoidable. The question is how you'll use it. Think of stress like a sharpening stone. Too much friction, and you can wear yourself out. Too little, and you become dull. The goal is to manage stress, letting it heighten your alertness and productivity instead of burning you out. Here's a quick scenario. Suppose you're studying for a critical exam. Your mind races with thoughts of failure. What if I forget everything? Or what if I disappoint my family? The immediate response might be to pull an all-nighter, fueled by panic. But ironically, that approach often sabotages performance. The more you panic, the less effectively you learn. A more stoic approach is to break your study into manageable chunks. Use short rest intervals, like the Pomodoro technique, and add quick physical exercises or even mini breathing sessions to clear your head. Instead of succumbing to the anxious chatter, you actively manage your mental state. You aim to be a calm pilot, guiding the plane through turbulence, not a frantic passenger screaming at every bump. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and accept the rest. You can't alter the exam difficulty or the outcome's importance, but you can control your study environment, habits, and mindset. Turn off your phone during study intervals, plan your breaks, and keep yourself hydrated. By respecting the boundaries of your own well-being, you transform stress from a dreaded foe into a tool that keeps you energized. Moreover, daily journaling or mindfulness can help you track stress triggers, spot negative patterns, and reinforce healthier responses. Visualize yourself succeeding under pressure. Athletes do this all the time. The mind can't easily distinguish between mental rehearsal and real practice. So if you repeatedly see yourself navigating stressful scenarios calmly, you increase your odds of performing that way in reality. When used correctly, stress can motivate you to prepare thoroughly, pay attention to details, and remain vigilant. Left unchecked, it can become an internal wildfire, burning through your peace of mind. The difference lies in whether you control stress or stress controls you. You've just explored the powerful pillars of mental strength: reprogramming your mindset, believing in yourself despite setbacks, converting negativity into fuel, practicing unwavering discipline, and cultivating resilience. You've seen why Stoic thinkers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius emphasized that true power lies in governing our reactions, not in bending the entire world to our will. Remember that mental strength isn't a one-time achievement. It's a lifestyle built through everyday choices. Each time you face a challenge and decide to learn instead of surrender, you deepen your reserves of courage. Each moment you pause to question a limiting belief, you chip away at the walls, blocking your potential. Gradually, you step through that hidden door to courage, realizing you're capable of far more than you once imagined. So here's a parting question to spark your final reflection. When have you felt fully in control of your responses, completely unshaken by external chaos? Think about what led you there and imagine replicating that mindset in every corner of your life. If this video has inspired you or offered a new perspective, share it with someone else who might be standing before a locked door of doubt. Spread the value, subscribe to keep learning, and join the community of those who choose to shape their minds rather than be shaped by circumstance. Because in the end, your mind can be your greatest fortress or your loneliest prison. The choice to unlock that door, to seize the mental strength that already lies within you, is entirely yours. And once you do, no storm, no failure, no negative voice will ever have the power to hold you back again. Go forward and become truly unbreakable. You deserve nothing less.